Archive is a band, a music that I totally grew up with.
Well, now we're old.
Well, you still look quite young. So
yeah, no, but I feel like kind of prepared for all the stuff that is happening right now in the world because of your music. I have such a reflection, and I need to say thank you for that.
Well,
You're very welcome.
thank you for
Thank you, mate.
supporting
for us.
Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
You have such a strong audience in Poland with young, older people. We all feel you. We grow up with you. We see how you change, how your music changed. That's something great, I think, when we can feel somehow connected with the band. But I said that I felt prepared about the world because of your music, and I need to ask you guys: is it so bad? Is it really so bad outside?
It's so surreal now, isn't it? I mean, it's so surreal. It almost feels like a movie.
Yeah,
they're all going to like walk out the cinema and everything will be normal again. But
hyper-normalization. That's what it is.
I mean, it's completely insane what's going on. It's
It is
speechless.
It is, but I think it's to a degree. I think it's always been fucking insane. Really.
Yeah, it goes up and down all the time.
And
I
it's
think
just the ride at the moment is like, hold on,
I think
this is intense, you know.
I think probably the worst things that's happened to the world, really, to enable these kind of crazy, movements that are happening, destructive stuff that's going. I think the whole, social media, the phone it's the irony of it, everyone when it started to connect, all the Facebook stuff when it first happened, oh wow, this is so amazing, we can all connect. But we're not meant to connect like that. We're not meant to be. It's the whole thing about communities being communities and people having their own cultures and stuff like that. It's a wonderful, beautiful thing. When you have this situation where anyone can say anything to anyone across the world, it can create this madness that we're dealing with now, all this lies and people making things up and all this racism and misogyny, all of the stuff that's happening, it can just spread so much quicker and so much easier.
But you predicted it. In your records, you predicted it. You're like an oracle, I believe. All your records were about this stuff that's happening right now, I believe.
Yeah, well.
I think it's because, obviously we pay attention to what's going on, and I think, it's and you have to, as we've said before, we focus and we take inspiration from things that are happening. It's how we vent a lot of our own anxiety and frustration, as writers. That's the beauty of writing, but also we carry it with us. We have to face things to put it down and then put it out to people and try and make it hopeful in a way, intuitive, interesting. But yeah, there's definitely a lot to write about as a writer in today's day. But you do have to find ways to escape from it, and I think we all have vents that we all need as a human race, some good and some light and colour, and
Yeah.
Is it a personal form of rebellion? To play music, to write music?
No, I think it's also just a reflection of the human side of things, the beauty and the darkness and all these things. I mean, it's really important to embrace that, and especially with all the imagination and propaganda, and it's much harder to really see what's going on. But I feel like our music just reflects that that really the heart and the humanness of
I think
of
for
everything.
us as well, it's like a sonic therapy. A lot of stuff we do, it has to be,
Yeah.
Glass Minds equals Black Mirror. I believe it. Like it's all the things that you said right now. That the new record is about it. Am I right?
Well, all I can say about Glass Minds, I think it's the best record we've done. I love it, and I think it's the beauty of it is the space, the kind of the vocals on this record. Because the messages on the album are kind of there's a lot of that stuff going on, as you're saying. It's reflective, but I like people to make their own way of interpreting it. But I think it's a much more positive record.
Yeah.
And I really, after doing Call to Arms and Angels, which again, for me, that was one of my favourite records we did, in a very different way to this one, you know. And it's just lovely to, I think since 25 really, the album when we did the greatest hits, and we wrote, you know,
Remains of Nothing.
Remains of Nothing and Erase.
Erase, yeah.
These
tracks.
songs, I think this was kind of the start of this new era of archive, you know, and I think the quality and the kind of, we really care about making these records the best we can, you know, and I think that's, you know, I'm really happy with what's the way the band's going, you know.
And later we meet together on a mass concert ceremony, I don't know how to say it, on a therapy meeting together.
Good therapy.
Good therapy meeting.
I agree.
Yeah, because your shows give us some hope in the end, I think.
They have to. I think we've always delivered that because of the energy that, you know, we create, and, you know, all of us together, we really, you know, present and push out such a big energy of
repetitive ones, so strong.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun in a way, and that's what you want. I don't want anyone to come away from an archive gig depressed, because don't get me wrong, some of the songs are hard. They are about subject matters that are painful, but there's always that element where you're like, this is fucking great though. It makes me feel alive, and we want the audience, you know, to feel that as well, and I think they do, and that's what we're here for, you know.
Do you listen to your earlier records?
Good question. I have to, because when we do live stuff, I have to revisit. So I probably listen to more than other members, because, you know, just you know, a lot of the set lists and stuff like that before we go into rehearsals, we kind of discuss songs, don't we, and what we're going to do. And also when we did the classic albums tour, we had to revisit all of those records, you know. But there's so yeah, I mean, it's not something.
I'm asking because do you have, while you listen to those records, like such a, do you think that, all right, we predicted it. Okay, 15 years ago we saw what's happening right now.
Well, good question. I mean, certainly I think I do listen to some stuff, and, you know, songs like Bullets, and, you know, especially the Controlling Crowds album. I know what you're saying. You kind of, wow, you know, we, as I said before, you thought it was bad then, and then you kind of, you know, it's
no sign of personal responsibility for corporations yet. Nope, still no sign.
Yeah, I think the way I put it is, I think those lyrics have more meaning now. Do you know what I'm saying? So if that's a way of thinking, you know, ahead, I don't know.
I think maybe people were, you know, it wasn't so obvious. People weren't, you know, people were just doing their lives, things, but now it's like you can't ignore it.
Exactly.
You know, and even if you're confused, you still have to figure out why. And
how long do you play together? It's almost 30 years.
It's 30 years since the band. It's nearly 30 years since the band started.
Yeah,
but me, Pollard, and Dave have been going.
He
for
joined
a long
2004.
time, nearly 20.
That's
20
like
years.
the year I met you, anyway. So
2004.
22 years.
It's over 20 years. 22.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What's the chemistry in the band right now? It's changed for so many years. The core is still the same, but you know,
it's like a mad, organic, Technicolor Dreamcoat, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see, I feel we get, you know, I don't want to like be cocky, but I feel we get better as a band.
I still feel like we're getting started in a way. It's
I
crazy
think
how
we're getting better
inspired
and better.
we are.
Yeah, exactly.
And also we have really grown a lot since, like you said, since the 25, and having to do the reissues, and we keep pushing ourselves in different ways, and having to focus in really incredibly intense ways. And I think it's been great for us, really, and it's been really inspiring to come out the other side of it, and then to sit back down and do a record, even with a lot of things. Like my mum died in between this, so I did feel half in and half out of it in some instances. But listening to it now, it's like we just push through, and it all sounds great.
Yeah,
you know?
the vocals especially.
I think as well, like, you know, with Jimmy and Lisa, you know, from a vocalist point of view, having, you know, two other amazing vocalists and writers, it's just how archive works. It's like, you know, there's always these elements. We've always said no door is ever closed. We've all, you know, Darius and and Dan have always been very open like that. They were with me, they were with Pollard. That's how it all began. And I love the fact we still have that core element. That's what I think is why we're still together and why we are still growing. Like Pollard said, everything still feels new. We always feel like a new band. We never feel jaded or like we're just going over the same ground here, guys. Let's sack this off. And I think a lot of that comes down to Dee's imagination and core of him, you know, overseeing it all to a degree, and us all playing our parts naturally as we're supposed to, you know. So yeah.
So much electronics on the new record, as much more, I believe, still much more than earlier. And I need to ask you, AI is for you like a danger or more a tool when you work around?
I mean, I think there's, you know, people are going to overreact about the AI thing. I mean, I didn't like it when I first saw it, but you know, it's just basically like animation now. And I think once you see it like that,
still producing music with it. It's
no, the music side of it. No, I think everything. Just like, you know, if you go to Germany, you get the Reinheitsgebot thing for the beer, and you have to have the German purity law. I feel like with films, it has to be the same thing. There should be warning signs that says there's AI in this. You need to know that. It has to be, because you can't, you know, it is going to be like George Orwell if they start duping all these people who don't exist. And
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think the music thing, the one thing we worry about is the publishing, and this is what Sir Elton John was talking about when it all came out. And that's really the big issue. The publishing thing, it's already been so bad since 2000.
Yeah, I don't think you should be allowed to just take someone's track and use AI to split it up and then use it for what you want. I think that's, you know, that's like anybody else's work. You couldn't do that. You couldn't take, you know, someone's film and edit it up and then put it back out. Someone would be like, wait a minute, that's not yours, you know. And
I think for me, the AI thing, I think, because, you know, obviously we've done a couple of videos. And if it's, for me, it's a thing that's opened that is going to be very difficult to put back in the bottle. You know, it really is. I mean, and the genie out of the lamp is a fucking scary genie. You know,
this is what we do. As humans. We do things and then think about them later.
Yeah, I think
consequences.
I know. Yeah, I mean, exactly. So I think if you know, that we're not going to be able to escape AI. So if it can be used creatively in a very creative, wonderful way, then so be it. But if it's used to rip people off and take other people's songs, and you know, then that's a terrible thing, you know.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
So it's like anything, isn't it? That I think it has to be in context. There has to be context. You can't just say AI and just write it off. If they're going to get in medical science, if they're going to get AI to cure cancer, then I'm all for that. No. Please, thank you very much.
I think that's really what it's supposed to be for.
Yeah, you know,
keep it out of the military, keep it out of music.
The problem is the problem is people aren't nuanced enough. They just go AI, yuck.
And again, I think that stems from what we said at the beginning with social media, and everybody has a platform, which is great, but also everybody can quickly say, this is wrong, this is bad, this is wrong, and you're swamped. However your algorithm works, all of a sudden it's bad, and you can't find a page that actually says, wait a minute, can I just see a positive here? Because there has to be, you know, there is. So yeah,
and also the environmental impact of AI and anything else that we do.
Water,
it has to be. You know, the crux of the problem is that they have to stop using oil and all these other things. If they could find energy that was clean, then you could use AI as much as you want, and it's not going to affect the environment in the same way. Do you understand what I mean? It's like, this is just one of a million problems. That the problem is the fossil fuel movement, which is now growing faster than ever. That's what people need to be concentrating on, you know, more, I think, you know, because that's the problem, you know.
A little bit going to the end, I need to ask also about the special place in your hearts about Poland and the connection with Polish audience, because it is special. I don't know where it comes from and how it
truly is.
How it started. I don't even know. Like,
I don't know. Did the first time we come to Poland, was that with?
Too Fat with You. That was
for my first show.
2004, right?
That's it. My first ever gig with Archive was in Warsaw.
And even by the time I did it, 2006, we've seen such a change in Poland, and you know, its economy, the roads between Krakow, just things that you're never going to forget. The kind of places we were playing. I mean,
Yeah.
It's been so cool to see, but also, it's just...
Yeah, you got to remember I'll tell you the story, is when we first, exactly what you're saying, Pollard, when we first started playing Poland, a lot of bands didn't even come to Poland, you know. I mean, the road from Berlin to Warsaw, it was famous. Everyone would dread it because it was so bad that you couldn't sleep.
Wake up in someone else's home.
And now Poland's like, everyone wants to play in Poland because it's, you know, the open air festivals like the best backstage ever, you know, and the venues are wonderful and the roads are all perfect. Now it's quite a story, Poland, isn't it? How you've become so successful in such a very short period of time. I think you've got the biggest economy in Eastern Europe, haven't you?
Yeah, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even still, just the silence when we're singing the songs, and then the reactions and everything.
The fans have always been so emotional. Really I remember when we came back with Lights, and I can remember then seeing fans crying and the looks on there, and it was like really quite always, and it's always stuck with us. Whenever we've come here, we just always felt so welcome and so. Yeah, for us, it's, you know, we're always just honoured. We go anywhere and people want us there. It's a really nice feeling in Poland,
we're
definitely.
Really lucky and we're so appreciative, you know.
One of the best for sure, yeah.
You can't, it's hard to imagine how special it is when you come from a country and then you go to another country that's not your culture and not your people and they love you. It's so strange, you know. It's like, wow, you know, why do we deserve this, you know? It's one of those, do you know what I mean? It's one of those things, you know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Well, I love that the
Yeah.
art cuts through the boundaries of these things, which is what I love about it, you know.
Damn right. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.